Way. I remember
Nemesis.
playing this when I was a bad.
Rise of the Imprefix.
I'm gonna play some
I can be
Johnny.
Spider-Man or Renegade Spider-Man.
Someone suggesting a review on Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
It's funny you say that. Because, yeah, it's funny you say that.
Do you like the
Oh,
fact...
bullshit, Spider-Man couldn't lift that.
I'm sure if he had time, he would.
Spider-Man's super strong. He can lift a tank. He can lift a train. I'm not, like, referencing the movie. I mean, he can actually lift a train, like a whole train car, and then hit someone with it.
I didn't like Andrew much either, George. I didn't think he was all that great.
I feel like if you pretend he's not Spider-Man, he's really cool.
Yeah, that's totally fair assessment, actually.
Wow.
Give me the top 5 Spider Boys. Are you fucking... Ring out! This is wrestling!
Take that, guy who vaguely resembles Electro.
I don't understand.
You can't get me. I'm the Spider-Bread man.
All I want is a dash button. Holy cow. This is the dash button. But look at how far I dash.
Check out my dash. Yeah,
oh,
look at that.
Really cool.
That's what happens when I
dash.
This
is my favorite thing. So
I shoot out yellow
and then
webs.
It just stops. You just stop.
It's weird how this game predicted the Sam Raimi black suit Spider-Man costume, but just slightly different. Like, it's yellow, but still, it's pretty close.
Someone asked, which state do we live in? We live in weed.
We live in the state of depression.
We live...
State
What the fuck's happening?
I'm super tough now.
I can't run away from anything that's happening.
I'm shooting laser webs. They're yellow.
I don't like this game.
I'm Golden Shower Spider-Man. I shoot yellow webs.
Does not suck.
I beat you just by standing in the middle of the arena and just shooting webs at your dick.
Who plays this game? What do you mean 1 life left? Fuck you, game. This
was dramatically...
This is so unreasonable. Like, what button have you been mashing?
You've been throwing things at you.
No,
okay, if you hold the right trigger and then hit one of the face buttons, it does like a special move. So, see?
It's ranged attacks. I'm Lightning Boy.
And I'm kicking you in the face.
Okay.
That's my power. I'm the spectacular kicking you in the face man.
Well, Xavier and I have this conversation on a daily basis. When we were little, we thought the Shadow the Hedgehog game was so edgy. Just because... Like, what? In the opening scene...
Oh, yeah. In the opening scene, you shoot a bunch of cops with an Uzi, and then you hear him say, damn it.
Damn it.
And he's standing next to Sonic, and it's like...
You're like, oh my god!
They said damn it in a Sonic game?
Oh, no! Why would they do that? This is...
So hardcore.
That's unreasonable. Foreigners are dirty. Yeah, that's true.
What?
Stop this madness.
This is a game I'm actually good at.
Every button.
Ow!
I literally pressed every button possible at once to make that happen.
This is how I've beaten all the bosses so far. Is just
Rage?
throwing things at them and then going rage mode.
I can't pick up that truck that you can pick up.
It's because I'm tough.
Is it? I haven't taken a single life off your lifespan. I want to die.
Ow. Why are you green?
Be a real
Okay, I'm colorblind,
X-Mans.
so I didn't even realize she was green. I knew the lightning was yellow, but it's lightning.
No, it's not. It's green.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man.
Damn it.
I hit Venom plenty of times, Mr. Krugerpool. He just didn't die. I brought his health down to half, like, twice. But other than that, you know what? Hecking, fuck this game.
You're very upset. Do you want to play something else?
I don't know what else we would play.
We have plenty. Here's the thing. I have so many games.
Why are you butt fucking Josh? Asks Moon Knight.
Well,
first off, it's an honor, Moon Knight.
It's an honor. Thanks, Moon Knight, for writing in.
Second off,
the answer to that,
fuck you,
is because he didn't Photoshop me a new logo a year ago. All right.
I will rain vengeance on you, Josh. Thanks, Mr. Moon Knight. Again,
Duke him forever, guys.
I really appreciate it. All right, we're streaming it. We've hit exactly 200.
No. I don't want to stream Duke Nukem
No, let's
forever,
do it. We've got exactly 200 viewers watching. This is the perfect time to do it.
There's so much nudity in there. Yeah, by the way, this is the Ultimate Edition, so I have all the DLC characters too, and the costumes, I think.
You don't have just Injustice 2, don't you?
I do not have Injustice 2 because I am very poor and I can't afford it. You gotta sign in.
Continue without saving. Do you think I can?
What?
Joker's pretty cool. Dude, the Joker in Injustice 2 is actually a lot of fun to play.
Doesn't he have... Wait, no, I'm thinking of...
I mean, I don't play high tier.
I'm thinking of MK9. I don't know who to play. There's so many characters, and plus the DLC.
Hey, Xavier, it's Jacob. Do you have any advice for me and Duck YouTube for first year of high school?
Oh yeah, Jacob, it's a costume man who does all those sick-ass cosplays on Twitter. I don't know if he wants me to say his last name, unless it's in his username.
Nah.
But Jacob's an awesome guy, and so is Duck. They're both very young, just starting high school. I would tell you, just... this is going to be really bad advice. Like...
Someone donated $10?
Someone donated $10? Thank you. Holy shit.
They said, oh, you're poor? Take some money?
Thank you. You know what's funny is when I research for videos, like I always try to find like Google image search of random photos of comic book characters. It is so easy to accidentally click through like 3 things and find porn. I don't know if I want to necessarily tell what college I'm going to.
No, no, that was a joke. Don't do that.
Because then everyone could just look it up. And then go there. I don't ever want to be in that situation that PewDiePie was in, where someone just walked into his front door and was like, "Hey." I forgot how to play this game, by the way, so you might actually have an edge. Oh, I'm really bad at this.
Like quarter circles.
I can do this really reliably.
Wait a sec. BRB, gonna go watch some hentai. Have fun, guy.
Oh, okay, all right. Have a good time, I guess. All right.
Would Xavier Senpai fuck you in the ass for $100 billion? Probably not.
Okay, so for future reference,
a play ad button. I could just click play ad.
You just play an ad.
Are you serious? I actually have no idea how that works.
Okay, press it just to see what happens.
Slot, do you?
I don't like Mr. Dan Slott very much. I think he's a mean guy.
Darth Love.
I had an argument with him on Twitter once, and I won.
Gamer.
You guys ever watched, what was it, Action League Now? There was a character named The Flesh, and his powers, he was just a naked, strong guy. I think there was a guy who was a stinky diver, and his power was just that he lived in a toilet.
That's pretty dumb, actually.
Remember that fan theory on Twitter where everyone was trying to say that Peter Parker is a trans boy? And like, their reasoning was like, well, he's a 15-year-old boy, and he can't tie a tie because it's his first dance as a boy. I was like, I don't know how to tie a tie! I don't think I could find a single person who knows how to tie a tie. I could talk to so many people that would have no idea how to tie a tie.
Lots of teenagers don't know how to tie a tie.
Do you know how to tie a tie?
Both of us are amongst those.
I have to get my dad to do it. So one time we were at like a random restaurant. I can't even remember which one it was. It was like Chili's or fucking Village Inn or something. But we were at a restaurant and someone there was just so drunk that they threw up all over the front, like right up where you go ask to get a table. And it was just everywhere, right? And I felt so bad for like the waitresses who had to like go out of their way to clean it up. So like I was just seeing them like struggle and look all sad all night trying to deal with it. So I went over and just like gave them each $10 just because I had like some extra. I think it was after a birthday, so I just had some money from birthday cards like waiting around in my wallet, and I was just like, "Hey, I know you guys have had a shitty night, so here you go." And even though it was only $10, they both started like crying. Okay, so I worked at a Halloween store during October last year. It was just like a seasonal job. Like you work here for like 34 days, and that's it. It was, I think it was actually like my first official job, and it sucked so bad because I was working more hours than anyone else, and I almost like failed one of my classes because I was doing like so much. Like, cause that was right around the time that my parents split up, so we were having like crazy money problems. So I was like, they were like, "What days are you available?" And I said, after school from 4 to 10, right? And I was like, I don't want to work every day of the week. Mm-hmm. And they're like, "No, don't worry, you won't." So then after a couple people quit because they hated the manager so much, I ended up working 5 days a week on it.
I remember that.
Actually, no, 6 days a week. I worked 6 days a week for like two and a half weeks. Because I was the only one who had, like, enough hours listed. Like, they kind of just took advantage of what I wrote down. So, yeah, and just so many people are really shitty. Like, you don't have the same kind of etiquette in a Halloween store that you would in, like, a Walmart or something. If someone's, you know, like, they don't treat the employees with any kind of respect. There was this lady who, like, bought a costume, then ripped it, then tried to get it returned, and then brought it back and was like, hey, I want to return this or replace it. And we're like, you can't do that.
Yeah,
there's
again,
like a no return policy.
I'm telling you,
and she just started yelling at us, right? And like making a giant scene at the front of the store. And she's like some like 50-something-year-old lady. And it was really bad because she started like getting like really hot and bothered and mad about it and like throwing things almost. And we were like, okay. How about this? Because the zipper on this one is broken, God knows how, we're not blaming you. We'll go get another one, and you could just exchange it. And then we'll take this one and then throw it away, I guess. Right? Because we were that upset. Because she had been yelling at us for like 20 minutes, and our manager wasn't there that day. So, eventually we just kind of settled on, like, okay, we'll get you the new one. And then we handed it to her, and she's like, well, I don't want that one. I want a different one. It's like, you can't exchange it for a not identical thing. Like, you bought a bee costume, you should keep the bee costume, right? And she's like, no, I want this, I think it was like a, wow, we're getting a lot of messages. I think she, like, switched it out for, like, a princess costume, and she's, like, too old to wear either of these, honestly. Like, she would have looked really silly in either of them because they were kind of revealing, and she was, like, I can't... She was like a female Ned Flanders if I had to come up with, like, something, like, of a mental image for this. And, you know, she's like, I don't want this one. And we're like, well, we don't know how to help you then. And she was like, I'm going to the other competitor Halloween store down the road.
Oh, God, what a loss.
Oh, no, we're so sad we lost. Like, you already bought the costume once. We didn't lose your sale.
Sorry.
And then she was like, I'm never coming back here again. And this is great because my boss, because there's like the manager and then like the sub-manager, I guess, like the person under them. It was great because she heard me say this, but as she was like, I'm never coming back here again. I went, good.
I love this.
It was loud enough that my boss could hear it, but not the lady walking away. And then my boss was like, come on, dude. I was like, I don't know. Yeah. I have one other funny story from the Halloween store.
Go for it.
Okay, so there was this dad who brought in his, like, 3-year-old, and it was just the two of them, right? And he brought the kid over and was like, they were looking through costumes, and this 3-year-old little kid found this Wolverine costume, and he was just so excited. Like, he tried it on in the store. We had the changing room, and he put it on, and he walked out with it, and he's like, can he wear it out of the store? I was like, yeah, totally. And he was just this most adorable little kid going, I'm so excited! Like, he was shaking. He was so happy. And I was like, that made my day. I hope nothing bad happens immediately after. Then in comes 2 kids, already in Halloween costumes. One of them was like 13. The other was maybe like 11 or 12. And one of them was in a Master Chief costume, and the other was in a Donald Trump costume. And they had no parents, and they were by themselves. And
reminds me of me.
And
13.
they were they walked in. Hold on. Wait, no, don't. I didn't want to do that. But I'll get back to my story about Donald Trump and Master Chief walking into the store. So these 2 kids, like, I don't know where their parents were or where they had come from. There was like an apartment complex right next to the Halloween store, so I could only assume they lived there and just walked over. Because one of them didn't even have shoes on. Like, he was in his socks in a Donald Trump costume. And he's like, there were 2 little Mexican kids, but one of them had on a blonde wig. So, I guess he was memeing, if that's the term. But, they walk in and immediately just start taking shit off the shelves and then just putting it on the floor or, like, throwing things or, like pulling things out of the packaging, or they kept asking me all kinds of dumb questions, or like, hey, is that tattoo real? Yeah.
No. It's not. This is a temporary. I actually got a sticker from the store down the road.
Yeah, I got this Deadpool sticker.
Put this circular Deadpool sticker on my
Wait,
left
are you
arm.
playing as Deathstroke?
Scene should be like that.
Okay, but anyway, back to talking about Master Chief and Donald Trump tearing up the Halloween store. So, after they had asked me a bunch of really weird and obnoxious questions, and like, because I was trying to mop up the place, but they kept throwing things on the ground, like little things. Like, it was annoying. Like, one of them had candy in his pocket and was just shoveling it into his face and leaving fucking wrappers all over the store. And I had to... I really hated that. But, like, every time I tried to tell the manager, like, hey, these kids are kind of being assholes over here. Can you, like, kick them out? Because they're not buying anything and they're just ripping up the place. And it was only the two of us working that day because, wow, that was effective.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't ran properly. That store was a giant clusterfuck the entire time. So, he was, like, manning the register, and there were so many people in that day that he couldn't really do anything about it. So, these kids got back into, like, the back section of the store where, like, the more adult costumes are. And I was like, oh, God. Because then they got a hold of, like, the Zentai suits. So, one of them ripped off his Master Chief costume, then left it on the floor. Like, he didn't even change in the changing room. He just changed out in the middle of the place and then put on this Slender Man costume. And it was so ill-fitting because it was, like, made for someone, like, half his size that he ended up breaking it. Like, it ripped in, like, 3 places and we had to throw it away. And then the other one found this, like, joke costume that was, like, a naked hillbilly with his genitals blurred out. And he put that on, but over his Donald Trump costume. And, like, they were, like, he went to go put it on in the changing room, like, he actually used it. And he was like, hey, here, man, help me zip it up in the back. And because the other one had a Slender Man costume on, it had these, like, long fingers that were, like, you know, just hanging there with, like, filled with, like, foam or something. So he couldn't do it right and then zipped up his hair in it. And then they got into a fist fight and almost knocked out one of the walls in the changing room. And then the one dressed as a naked hillbilly ended up running all over the place and then wiped out super hard and hurt himself because he was like, I mean, he didn't have shoes and he was in a Zentai and then slipped on the tiles and banged his head. And he ran over and almost tackled the little Wolverine from earlier. Like that little 3-year-old boy who was super excited because he was Wolverine. I was just so fucking angry at that point. Because that little Wolverine was like the best thing that happened that day. Because he was so excited and he was so happy and he was all hopping up and down. This little bastard in a Donald Trump costume almost hurt him. Like, I actually just, like, my manager was on the exact other side of the store. So I got away with it. So I just started, like yelling at them and I actually told them to get the hell out. I didn't want to say fuck. That would have been too far. I told them to get the hell out. And then they went and put on their original costumes and then left, and I had to clean up everything that they destroyed.
No, retail is
Retail jobs suck!
That's...